Good morning, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut, usually here with Mike Kelly, but he is out at the Oakdale Christmas Cantry and with a bunch of agents out there in Oakdale. And if you're all there, tell everybody hello for me. All right, so we're just when he's not here, it's just about the facts because there's nothing to go back and forth with. And if I start laughing and joking, I'm gonna be crazy. Anyway, the Dow is. We'll get to that in a second. It's not here, but we'll look at. So the rates are worse by about 8 basis points today. The 10-year sitting at 4.137. That it opened at 410. It's been, way lower than that. And it was like, why is that doing that? There's a lot of mixed news out there. I mean, the thing we've been waiting on is the PCE, which is the Fed's favorite gauge of inflation. And that came in mixed. It came in good, but also came in mixed. Let me close that one down and let me get into it. So, what we got? So if you look at the headline number, the main number, which includes food and energy, monthly was up 0.3 in September. That was expected. Year over year ticked up 2.7% to 2.8%. Nothing major, but it did tick up a little bit. Core PCE, that's again producer price, personal consumption expenditures, easy for me to say today on Friday. That monthly was up 0.2, which is on target. Year over year down from 2.9% to 2.8%, which is one. So that was lower than expectation. They looked at the shelter costs, rents, overall shelter is up 0.15%. Rents are up 0.2, owner equivalents 14. You're going, what does that mean? The big thing is gas is what's helping everything. It's much lower. So overall, the consumer 1-year inflation expectations from the University of Michigan fell from 4.5 to 4.1, which is the second lowest reading this year. 5-year expectation dropped to 3.2%, lowest of the year. Long story short, tame PCE, the personal consumption expenditure data was tame. The ADP report earlier in the week showed we lost 32,000 job losses. What does that mean for next week? That's what everybody's worried about. What does it mean for next week? There's a meeting next week with the Fed. Are they going to cut rates? Are they going to keep it there? Pretty much it's a clear path for a 25 basis point cut next week. However, we don't really know. They can do whatever they want. I mean, their personalities and everything else involved, it's who knows what it's going to do next week, but we'll find out next week. I think they're going to cut. The question really is that going to help us or hurt us? Is the rates going to go up or down after they cut? That is the real question. I think they might tick up a little bit because, it depends on what next week. Because Tuesday we have JOLTS. So next week is really back to jobs week. So next week we have JOLTS, which is the job openings. They'll show the hiring is cooling or what week. Then we'll also have ADP employment report again. There'll be a 10-year auction. Who cares? I mean, we care because if there's demand for it, it's good for us. If there's no demand, it's bad for us. Wednesday, mortgage applications. We're going to have the FOMC statement and what they're doing with rates. And then Thursday's initial jobless claims. So we're going to have some stuff out there. Long story short, what we're getting at right now is the PCE inflation report is showing that inflation's cooling. Consumers are supposedly feeling better about inflation, and the December rate cut is likely. But the question really is what is the Fed going to say to make the tone for 2026? Even though I don't know how long he's actually in next year before they put the other Fed person in place. But that's basically what we have. The other thing I wanted to talk about is agents. Get your niche on. What I mean by that is really get down into what your niche is. Because there's this Ridley thing that's out there that is doing real estate and it's doing it consumer side only, no agents. And it's starting to take off a little bit. They raised a bunch of capital to do it. They've done, where was the number? Oh, look, my Gardener's here. I think they did 350 million so far, which doesn't sound like much, but that's just the start. So really, you really got to get close with your people. I think there's going to be some people who use it just like some people use the discount services. But you need to actually focus on what you do best. As I tell Mike, if you're probate, focus on probate. You can still do the other stuff, but really focus on what your niche is and get that on for next year because that's what is going to keep you going in this year. I mean, going forward, even myself, I focus mainly on veterans, even though I do other stuff, but I mainly focus on veterans. So anyway, make it a great day. I'm going to cut this off here shortly because it was without him here. I don't like going back and forth myself because it's like being crazy. All right. Again, we'll be back on Monday. We're here on the radio on the weekend on Saturday at 12 noon and Sunday at 3 p.m. on 1360 KFIV. Feel free to listen to us. If you don't listen to us on that period of time, you can listen to that one on the podcast on Monday that gets released. And that's Real Estate Jerky Radio. All right, everybody, make it a great day. Have a great weekend. And we will talk to you on Monday. Bye.